The world of rock and roll is mourning the loss of one of its most iconic figures. Ace Frehley, the original lead guitarist and founding member of Kiss, known to millions as the Spaceman, has tragically passed away at the age of 74. Reports confirm that Frehley died peacefully at his home in New York on October 16, 2025, surrounded by loved ones. The news has sent shockwaves through the music industry, leaving generations of fans heartbroken. For over 5 decades, Ace's electrifying performances, signature riffs, and larger-than-life stage presence helped define one of the most influential rock bands in history. But behind the makeup and fame was a man whose journey was as turbulent as it was inspiring. Born Paul Daniel Frehley in the Bronx, New York, in 1951, Ace grew up in a working-class family with a passion for music that couldn't be contained. By the time he picked up his first guitar, rock and roll was already flowing through his veins. Inspired by legends like Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones, Ace's dream was simple: to make music that could shake the world. In 1973, that dream began to take shape when he met Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss. Together they formed Kiss, a band that would change the course of rock history forever. When Ace stepped on stage in his silver suit and cosmic makeup, the Spaceman was born, and so was a legend. Throughout the 1970s, Kiss became the most theatrical and outrageous band in rock. Their explosive live shows, pyrotechnics, and wild costumes made them icons of excess and showmanship. Ace Frehley's fiery solos and innovative guitar effects set him apart. Fans remember his smoking guitar trick that became a signature part of Kiss performances. Behind the flash, though, Ace was a true musician's musician, writing classics like Shock Me, Cold Gin, and Rocket Ride. His playing wasn't just fast, it had soul. For countless young fans, Ace was the embodiment of cool, the mysterious, rebellious rocker who played by his own rules. But as Kiss reached the peak of success, fame came at a price. Ace struggled to cope with the relentless touring schedule and internal band tensions. The excesses of rock stardom, the parties, the pressure, the isolation, began to take their toll. By the late 70s, his relationship with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley grew strained, and his struggles with addiction became harder to hide. In interviews, Ace would later admit that the lifestyle nearly destroyed him. "I was on a collision course," he once said. "I had everything I ever wanted, and I was still miserable." The cracks in Kiss's armor were beginning to show, and the man behind the Spaceman makeup was starting to fade into the shadows. In 1982, Ace Frehley made a decision that shocked the rock world. He quit Kiss. For fans, it felt like losing the soul of the band. Ace later said that creative differences and exhaustion drove him to step away. The years that followed were dark and uncertain. He battled addiction, legal troubles, and health issues, but even in his lowest moments, his love for music never disappeared. His first solo album, Frehley's Comet, proved that he could still command an audience on his own terms. Tracks like Rock Soldiers reminded everyone that Ace's fire was far from extinguished. He was down, but not defeated. By the 2000s, Ace Frehley had found a second chance. After years of struggle, he entered recovery and began rebuilding his life and career. He returned to the stage sober and stronger than ever, proving that true rock legends never fade, they evolve. His 2009 album Anomaly was a critical success, and fans rejoiced to see their hero back in his element. Ace's honesty about his past struggles inspired a new generation of musicians who looked up to him not just for his talent, but for his resilience. "You can fall," he once said, "but you can always get back up. That's rock and roll." In 1996, before his full comeback, Ace reunited with the original Kiss lineup for their historic reunion tour, and the world went wild. Seeing the Spaceman back in his silver suit was pure magic for fans who had waited years for that moment. The tour was one of the highest grossing in history, reminding everyone why Kiss had become a cultural phenomenon. Though tensions resurfaced later and Ace eventually parted ways again, he never spoke with bitterness. In later years, both Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley publicly expressed admiration for Ace, with Gene saying, "There's only one Spaceman, and it's Ace Frehley." that respect only deepened with time. As the years went on, Ace continued performing, recording, and connecting with fans across the world. He released several acclaimed albums, including Spaceman in 2018, which showcased his unmistakable style. Despite living a quieter life away from the chaos of fame, he remained a beloved figure in rock. His humor, humility, and down-to-earth nature made him a fan favorite at conventions and meet and greets. "I'm just a kid from the Bronx who made it," he would say with a smile. He never forgot where he came from, and that humility made his legacy even greater. In recent years, Ace faced recurring health challenges but remained optimistic. He continued to record music and appeared in interviews reflecting on his incredible journey. Friends said he had grown deeply spiritual, spending much of his time painting, writing, and enjoying a quieter existence surrounded by family. Though he performed less frequently, his passion for music never wavered. In one of his last interviews in mid-2025, Ace told fans, "Music gave me a purpose when I had nothing else. If I can inspire one kid to pick up a guitar instead of giving up, I've done my job." Those words now echo with heartbreaking poignancy. On October 16, 2025, the world received the news no fan was ready for. Ace Frehley had passed away peacefully at home in New York. His family released a statement saying, "It is with deep sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved Ace. He was not just a musician, but a husband, father, and friend whose light will continue to shine through his music." Tributes poured in from across the globe. Gene Simmons called him a brother and a pioneer, while Paul Stanley said, "Without Ace, there would be no Kiss." Fans gathered outside his home and at Kiss-themed landmarks, lighting candles and blasting "Shock Me" in his honor. From Tokyo to New York, fans celebrated Ace's life with candlelight vigils, jam sessions, and spontaneous street performances. Social media overflowed with messages of love and heartbreak, as generations of Kiss Army members shared stories of how Ace's music had changed their lives. Many recalled meeting him at fan conventions, describing him as the nicest rock star you could ever meet. One fan wrote, "He was our hero, but he always made us feel like friends." For millions, his passing marked the end of an era, but also a reminder that true legends never die. Their music becomes eternal. Behind the Spaceman persona was a man who loved deeply, laughed easily, and fought hard for redemption. Ace Frehley wasn't just a guitarist, he was a symbol of survival. He showed the world that even when you fall apart, you can rebuild yourself through passion and purpose. His guitar solos, often imitated but never duplicated, remain etched in rock history. His influence can be heard in countless bands that came after Kiss. As one critic wrote, "Ace didn't just play guitar, he made it talk, scream, and soar." His music will forever echo in the hearts of those who grew up dreaming of outer space and electric guitars. As the curtain falls on one of rock's greatest lives, fans can take comfort in knowing that Ace Frehley's legacy will shine for generations. His music, his spirit, and his rebellious energy will continue to inspire dreamers, outsiders, and artists around the world. In the end, Ace once said, "I may be from the Bronx, but I'll always be a spaceman." And now, somewhere beyond the stars, that spaceman plays on, free, eternal, and forever part of the sound that changed the world. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. You may have left this earth, but your music will never stop rocking. Ace Frehley's passing marks the end of an era, but his legacy burns brighter than ever. What was your favorite Ace moment or Kiss song that defined your youth? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tributes to the legends who shaped our world of music.